This is another episode of Back in the Day. And this is called Mama Am I Going to Die? But anyways, when I was growing up, grapes were everywhere. Anywhere you saw bushes, you saw cluster and cluster of grapes. They were small grapes, about the size of blackberries. But we didn't know growing up that all you had to do was keep cutting that vine and put a stick under the grape, and you would get them big juicy grapes like in the grocery store. We ain't know that, growing up. But anyway, grapes are everywhere. Everywhere you saw bushes, there were grapes. We go to school in PE. We can pick grapes, that were growing over in the schoolyard in front of bushes. You know, walking. You walk past some bushes, it grapes hanging close to the sidewalk, and you just pick grapes, cluster of grapes, and walk and eat it. But anyway, one day me and Cedric spotted some big juicy grapes. It were on the side of Miss Gandy's house in a pine tree about 30 feet tall, covered by vines and vines of grapes. You couldn't even see the pine tree, right? So me and Cedric decided, and I think I was 9, and maybe Cedric 11, or maybe even younger. Well, Cedric say, man, you think you can climb that tree to get them big grapes? They go get it, partner, right? The vine is so thick, I was using the vine as a ladder and also to sit in like a chair. While I'm picking these grapes. And I'm just picking these grapes and picking these grapes, chilling. That's why we're boo. And so you say, David, it's a swamp of bees flying around your head. And me being greedy, figuring, well, they flying around my head, they ain't flying on me. So I'm steady picking a grape. Bees flying around my head, a lot of stuff, and you can't even count them. They flying around in a circle. The next thing I know, I saw a bee the size of a cigar, and about maybe 2 to 3 inches long. But at the time, he looked at 6 inches long. You know what I mean? But he hit me in the forehead. Pow! I'm upside down in the vines, not hanging. Bees flying everywhere. Say, kick your leg, man. Kick your leg, Dave. Kick your leg. They gonna get you. So I fell down after I went to kick my leg. And the vine was so thick, it was growing on top of the bushes too. So when I fell 30 feet, I didn't get hurt because it was like I fell on a mattress. Because these vines ain't on the ground and they thick and they tight. So I roll out the vines. Cedric grabbed the the grapes, and he went one way, and I went toward that beauty parlor. Because Cedric didn't want to be seen with me. He ain't want no parts of that, because he just know it was some whoopings involved, right? But I went to the beauty parlor, and my mama customer say, Daisy, I heard that you put tobacco on it. It's a draw the poison out, right? So my mama got a bandage, put some tobacco out of the ashtray on it, cigarette ashes. Boom, place on my head. So I'm sitting in the shampoo chair. There's a customer in a dryer finishing up. She can see me directly. And another customer and my mama right in front of me, but they looking straight forward. They ain't looking at me. And the customer in the dryer say, Daisy, pumpkin don't look right. So my mama and the other customer turned their head and looked at me. And the lady say, I think you need to take pumpkin to the hospital, right? So they say they'll close up because the lady will finish. My mama hadn't just finished the other lady head, and the other lady, she had a little more time in the dryer, but then she'll be finished and she'll say, Daisy, when I leave, I locked up I'll lock up and turn out the lights. But take your baby to the hospital, right? So me and my mama going to the hospital, right? And she said, whatever you do, don't feel your face. And me, being a little kid, I felt my face and it was all lumpy and yucky and lumpy and bumps everywhere, like a monster, right? And I said, Mama, am I going to die? Because her teeth are moving 100 miles per hour. Only time she do that is when she real nervous, right? And I heard that. Mama, am I going to die? And she say, is you talking right? I said, yes, ma'am. She say, well, how are you going to die and you talking? I said, Mama, I don't want to go to hospital. Remind you, I'm a little baby now. I'm about probably between 7 to 9 years old. I don't quite remember. But I was scared of that hospital. I was very scared. And I said, can I go see Dr. Bennett? And she said, you sure? The hospital is for emergency, son. I said, I want to see Dr. Bennett. Right? She took me to Dr. Bennett's house. Put me on the table. And he got a piece of soap, put it in the bandage, and put it on my head. And he said, Daisy, I heard about the tobacco stuff. And it's true. But it's not from a cigarette. A cigarette got a bunch of chemicals in it and deadly chemicals. He said, you want to get a tobacco leaf, a fresh tobacco leaf, and put it on the bee sting. And it supposed to say to draw the poison out. Right? So now, let's fast forward. Maybe 15 years later, I didn't graduate out of college. Right? One day we talking about old times. And I say, Mama, you remember I got stung by that king bee? What Dr. Bennett said was a king bee or a king wasp, and he put that little soap on my head. She said, yeah, I remember, boy. And I said to myself, this a dead little goddamn nigga him. He ain't finna pull through this shit him. And my heart almost stopped because I remember I asked you I'm going to die. And you say, you talking right. So when she said, I thought you were gone that day, baby. I just know you weren't going to make it. It kind of touched me because that's just how close you is to death and don't even know it. I hope you enjoyed the story back in the day. Thank you.